Ugh. What is up, YouTube? HPJ here. So this is gonna be a long video. This is gonna be the ticks and trips, the tips, suggestions, and ideas for those who are playing Harpie in hat format. So I know many of you are, doing the Time Wizard formats, and you guys wanted some suggestions from yours truly about Harpies. And I recently did my video, and towards the end of my video, I stated that I wanted to give you guys a list of ideas of cards that you can easily use for your variation of hat if you're participating in Time Wizard events that will be focused around the hat format. So just a brief iteration of what hat format is. It is the format that introduced hands, artifacts, and trap trick monsters as a deck. The last component, the artifacts, came around the late spring, late spring, early summer of the 2014. I was going to say 2020, 2014, and it consisted of these particular archetypes, which no one really thought were going to join forces and actually do well as a deck. But they did. They even springed on some of their own variations, in which they combined with Fire Fist in some builds. There were Fire Fist and Hat in hands in one. There was just so many variations of hats, artifacts, and trap tricks. It was a really, really cool setup. So I myself personally say that Harpies had found their matchup, because Hat was definitely that. It was definitely anti-meta that was becoming meta. It had a lot of variations to itself. It was definitely a rank 4 engine within itself as well. Even though most of the rank 4 engine of cards that were in the deck sparred from just the variation of things that were coming later. And it's crazy though, because I don't think Rafflesia was out yet. I think she was still a year behind. So, count for Hat for doing, what it did, when it did, and how it did it. So, yeah, definitely a lot of things that will be addressed in today's video. For those who want to play Harpies and just, want some suggestions for things, because as of today, Top Deck Yu-Gi-Oh, the website, did not have any Harpie card, any of the stuff on there. It's been, for whatever reason, shut down. And I don't know if the Wayback Machine has the information, and I didn't go to check. But I am going to give whatever I can possibly give to help you guys out as soon as possible. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you have anything that you would like to add to help out your fellow Harpie players, please do in the comment section below. Just, be respectful. Alright, with that said and done, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of these suggestions I have. So we're going to start off with the monsters. And I'm starting with main deck monsters at that, because there are a lot of things that can easily be done here. Card D. There was some builds that ran Card D because of its, at the end of the turn, in which it was normal summon, tributed, draw 2 cards, but you end the turn and you can't special summon. While it doesn't seem like a prominent card at first, there were stall variations of Harpies that use Card D to get to its pieces faster, set up things for a lot of wave of negation, a lot of wave of disruption, and then when it was your turn, you had everything you needed set up so that you can go off against your opponent on on turn 2. Card D is definitely a turn 1 type of card, and it's really easy to side out if need be. So that is Card D. Next up, Effect Veiler and the variations of hand traps. There weren't too many hand traps at that point in time, except for Maxi, Effect Veiler, Swift Scarecrow, DD Crow. I don't remember too many else. I mean, outside of maybe Honest and Kalut, but that's for particular decks on their own. So when it came to Harpie, you did have access to Effect Veiler. Why? Because she was an easy negate on your opponent's turn. Even if you're running cards like Fiendish Chain and stuff like that, This is probably one of your best assets to help you run if you're playing Harpy, so you can deal with a lot of the things that you're going to run into. And trust me, I should know because I had a build that ran Effect Veiler. I know a couple of other builds that ran Effect Veiler. And there was a couple of builds that were in um, the game as well that ran Effect Veiler. So, yeah, still a prominent card to be used. Then from there, Thunder King Ryo in Neospatian Grand Mole. I know these aren't two of the most conceptual things to be running, but you can run them. There's nothing wrong with running these. They are actually some really good options. Neostation Grand Mole to remove monsters on the field that are very difficult to deal with because there are a lot of times where you're running to a wind up Zen mage, you're running to your opponent's 101 summon on an arc. You'll have to deal with some of your opponent's bigger monsters that are normally not able to be destroyed by battle or by card effect. So Mole comes in handy to bounce those cards away. Mole doesn't target, so that's another thing that you can ultimately use. And there is still structure to it at the end because of how things are panned out. Thunder King Ryo, or TK Ryo for short. The Thunder King here can help you with those inherit summons. So you can distribute it to Destroying Seas, Synchro, stuff like BLS, Chaos Sorcerer, those types of things. While it's on the board, neither player can add cards to your hand, so you would have to rely on, drawing things. And even then, that's a problem because you have TK on the field. So, Thunder King is prominent. Thunder King is a great resource. But also remember, I think both of these monsters were still at 1. Or I think Thunder King was at 1 and Mole was at 2. So like I said, these are suggestions. You don't have to run them, and I'm sure there's tons of better options that can easily be ran between these two. But these are some options of things that I definitely give the suggestions for. Moving on from there, it's time to go into the Valley of the Wind. It's time to talk about the Mist Valley. So, Mist Valley, what is it? G-Nex Ally Birdman, Mist Valley Falcon, Mist Valley Soldier. And just to throw this in, cockle-doodle-doo. So, tuners. If you want a synchro variant, you want to put in some synchros. Besides Effect Veiler, one of my other suggestions. Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind, if you want to run Gale. G-Nex Ally Birdman for his interactions with Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. Mist Valley Soldier for his interactions with the archetype. Being a level 4 wind attributed winged beast. Being able to get rid of monsters that you can destroy by battle, especially stuff that likes to in defense mode. Mist Valley Falcon, just to be a high level winged beast you can swap in or swap out, and then she can bounce back stuff like your Hysteric Sign, your Hysteric Party, have some usage of those again. And Cockle-Doodle-Doo, which is a very strange one, but hear me out. Cockle-Doodle-Doo can come onto the field when there's no monsters on the field in general and be a level 3, but then comes onto the field as a level 4, and can be used for Exceeds or Synchro Summoning, which is perfectly great for Harpie because those are two variations of things you can easily take advantage of with an archetype like this. So those are some options there. There's some options, but I do heavily go for those level 4s, and even so, the manipulation of levels that Cockle-Doodle-Doo can easily do. Even so, Star Eater if you have a Star Eater, because the level 3 McChandler 7. I think it's a 12. If not, there's always Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. So, you have some options. Alright, we're going to move on from these. And then we're going to talk about Fire and Ice Hand as some options. Because, of course, hat format. Why not play around with Fire and Ice Hand? These are some good ideas of monsters to put into the deck. Because Fire and Ice Hand have, the spot removal. Ice Hand can help you remove spells and traps. Fire Hand can help you remove monsters. And the crazy thing about these monsters is that while they were expensive during their time, The reprints are still easy to pick up because they're common variants of them in that Trap Trick structure deck with some of those artifact monsters as well. So, bam, there you go. And still, a good option of things if you want to run them. There's nothing, no one's saying you can't run them. It's just an option of running them. So, from there, do advise you need some pot averses. And, Dagestar Emerald is still legal, so option there. Tempest, the Dragon Ruler, Storms. This is going to be one of the instances where I say this card may not need to be in your deck. If you're going to run it, just be warned now. You have things to deal with. You have a monster that banishes your monsters to play itself. I would not suggest discarding it in another wind monster or a dragon to go get a dragon, because you also have to remember there that there's going to be some complications there. You could run stuff like Dark Spear. You could run there's not too many main deck Dragoonity monsters you could easily run, and there's not too many different wind monsters I would say you could run to probably pick up things, because no one's running the Bree Dragon to pick up Harpie Girl. I just want that to be very much understood, because no way we're running Harpie Girl just to fill in a slot for a Synchro monster, especially not in the level 6s, because especially with how things fluctuated for Harpie, even in rank 4, rank 7, and maybe throw in a couple of level 7 synchros and 8 synchro monsters. Level 7 and 8 synchros. It's an option there, but just be very mindful of Tempest. I don't even run Tempest now in my current deck, so. Alright, we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead into the spells. So, for the spells, Pot of Duality, if you want to run a stun variant, there was a build or two that ran Pot as a way to help dig into the deck to get your card, your trap cards and some of your spells, and be able to set up for you in your rebuttal plays. Still a good option. From there, I'm going to go into stuff like Dark Hole, massive removal at the whim of your finger. It's an option. Then we have a lot of summoning cards here. We got a lot of summoning cards. They start off with Instant Fusion to help you bring out some of those level 4 fusion monsters that you can manipulate into your Exceed summons. Don't worry, I'll get to a big part of them soon enough. From there, there is the option of Swallow's Nest to help you tribute off your monsters to bring out other monsters onto the board. Definitely helps you with Hunting Ground's ability to pop multiple back row in addition to Harpie Dancer, or to get out of dodge of stuff like Effect Veil or Fiendish Chain, or Compulsory Evacuation Device, or Bottomless Trap Hole. Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. This is, of course, a synergized card with Harpies, especially with effects of Harpie Dancer, the Mist Valley cards, G-Knight Satellite Birdman. Remember that Harpie Dancer at TK is the reason why this Divine Wind of Mist Valley still has not gone to multiples in the TCG. But even in at that point, it's time to let the chains go so we can experience more Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. The Symbol of Heritage. Symbol of Heritage. This is an odd one, I know, but if you think about it, Harpies always run multiples of themselves. They're treated as Harpie, they want to fill in the graveyard, and the Symbol of Heritage helps out bringing those monsters back onto the board so you can get rid of things there. Simple, little, not Pot of Average type, Premature Burial-esque type of card. Another, when it comes to multiple monsters, and if you want some major attack points to swing at things, the Phalanx Pike. Equipped into one of your monsters to give it 900 attack for each monster in your graveyard that shares the same name. I think you know where I'm going with this one, especially because later builds in the franchise ends up using this Phalanx Pike as an option as well. So, that's it for all the spells, I believe. Yes, it is. And now we're going to go on to a lot of the trap cards. So majorities of these trap cards are here for stun and stun variants. And some of them even act as pseudo variations of monsters. Then maybe if you don't have them, you'll at least have the access to them. We have Mistake, which is, of course, neither player can add cards to their hand except for drawing them. This allows from the deck to the hand except for drawing them. Of course, this focuses on things like TK Ryo's ability. In addition to the breakthrough skill, Skull Prisoner to protect your monsters' effects from being negated or affected by other card effects. And even on your turn in the graveyard, you can banish it to then select the monster and protect it. The Solemns, of course, because why not? Negation can definitely be key, especially against your opponent. The Anti-Spell Fragrance. This is a good way to deal with Spellbook, because you can sit on this lovely anti-spell, force your opponent to set their cards, and then pop them with your hunting ground. Yes. Yes, you see why this card had to go to one sooner or later, huh? Alright, from there we have Trap Stun to deal with other heavy trap decks. And Harpies can easily trigger this with Hysteric Party to flip it on Hysteric. Flip this first, flip Hysteric Party, discard for the party's effect, bring your monsters to the field, and then negate the Hysteric Party. So at the start, the Hysteric Party is the first thing to resolve in the chain, so that way the Trap Stun negates the Hysteric Party, and if they try to blow up the party, they can't because the Harpies will stay on the field, but the Hysteric Party won't. Yeah, love that combo. Compulsory for removal as well. Mirror Force for its massive removal. Torrential as well for massive removal. Deep Prison for some smart removal. And Vanity's Emptiness, which I'm shocked a lot of people aren't running. But I think it's just because of the fact that it was more of a stun variant at its core. But then a lot of people started putting it in later on as the formats progressed, up until it's limiting, and then up until it's banning. So there's your options of Vanity's Emptiness. Now, just before I go into the extra deck monsters in support, I just want to say every one of these cards that I'm showing you right now has some reprint variation of it that is extremely inexpensive to obtain. The only thing I'd probably say may be an issue, unless you want to pop out some money, is probably the Thunder King Ryo, because Thunder King Ryos, even as commons, are expensive to get as well. So outside of that, that is like pretty much it, unless you guys know something about the monsters that are going to be expensive. Now, from there, we've moved on from the main deck. It's time to go into the extra. Now, one of the major things that I can tell you about the extra deck in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it is, selective to what you want to run. You don't have to run these selections or ideas, but they are here for support. Mevalis, and I didn't know this monster was going up in price. Maybe someone said it had to. I know House of Champs just recently had posted a video, and I was scrolling through like I normally do. And I was going to do Mevalis anyway, because of Instant Fusion. You can Instant Fusion this out. It's a winged beast, tons of synergy, and it's probably one of the most easiest monsters you can bring out with the Instant Fusion. And sets up for your Exceeds, possible synchros, possibilities of things that you can do thanks to Instant Fusion. And this card is going to be probably expensive, so if there's a reprint, go get that reprint. It's not a reprint now because this is only Astro Pack only. But if there is a reprint of it, that'll come out. If this is really what word on the street is, that it does really well with that MST deck that's coming out. So there's some possibilities with this Instant Fusion target or Refusion target. So go for it. Alright, then from there, Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon for all the machines. Stillstorm Roach for those high level decks that are using those high level monsters. It's still a prominent thing, like dragons. Gemnite Pearl, just another standalone monster, and it can't be Instant Fusion because Phoenix Chain because it has an effect. Corrigorgon, the Anti-Luminescent Knight. This is a monster that helps you redirect cards that will target to other cards, so it can protect your Harpies and some of your various monsters as well. Maestroke the Symphonic Djinn, a Book of Moon, and protection as well. Evilsworn Ouroboros. If you want Trishula on cheap, this is where Ouroboros comes in. Once return abilities that you can easily use by simply detaching material. Yes, you can only use one of those effects while face up on the field or turn, but hey, take advantage of it if you possibly can make it. The Crazy Box. I know this is for when you're dealing with skill drain. You can even flip Eradicator Epidemic Virus or Deck Devastation Virus to help you out with it. You know, just to clear out some of those spells, traps, and those low level monsters. I don't know if she was here yet. Rafflesia is an option, but if she's not, you can X out Rafflesia. And then Rhapsody and Berserk, another good option. To banish cards in your opponent's graveyard and then bring this card to equip itself to a monster and give it some attack points. 82, Heartland Draco. Really good monster here too. Can attack your opponent directly and is protected while you have spells or traps on your field. Hysteric Sign, Hysteric Party, Harpie's Hunting Ground. Bam. Lavalval Chain, in case you want to, do some recorrections and, draw into something useful. Or send Zephyros to the graveyard so you can have it ready to go for some bounce back. Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. If you can't afford Draco Sax, this was your option. There was Master Blades too, which I did ran. But it's still an option. It's still something to go into. So, and then for Synchros, two of my favorite options, the Ancient Fairy and the Crimson Blader, which I don't know how expensive this one is. I know this one is fairly cheap because there are reprints of her, especially with the Norada. But, bam, there you go. Extra deck suggestions. There are tons of extra deck monsters for level 4s that you can easily use. But some of them I may not have. One of them is Giant Hand, but I think Giant Hand was not out yet or was a prize card. But you can use Giant Hand too if that's the case. And then most of them I already featured in a deck profile. So, I'll do my best to try to timestamp this, and I'm sure many of you will give me some ideas and suggestions in there. And just to note, so anyone can reiterate this, yes, I don't know if Rafflesia was out yet. If she was not, please exclude her from this conversation. Otherwise, you can include her. Outside of that, I am basically done with today's video. Clap it up for me. I do want to say thank you guys so much for being interested in the video and being interested in these suggestions. I will definitely do my best to try to post up some more variations of Harpies during hat format. And hopefully you guys like it and enjoy it, because it can potentially happen. So, with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content. And socials are in the description box below. With that said, HPJ signing out. Take care.